Friday night football action. Here we go. We got another good one today between BYU and UConn. Well, I don't know if it's going to be that great of a game, but I think for us it is because I'm going to back under the total here. We hit last night on Cincinnati and Miami. Let's see if we can keep the ball rolling here. Really interesting number here. Odds makers came out with it at 44. I think that's a little bit too high. Usually when I'm breaking a game down, I like to side with the odds makers because, they usually set the right number, but I think this one's set a little bit too high. I could be wrong, but I'm going to take under the total here. I think we're going to see a good defensive battle. Let's break down these numbers and let's see why this is going to be a good defensive game. On the year, UConn, they're still rebuilding. Bob Diaco still has a way to go with that program. I think they're still a year or two away. Not a lot of talent, but their defense, they have a lot of returners, and I think that's what's going to help them stifle BYU. BYU did not play well last week at Michigan, but Michigan's pretty good. Let's talk about UConn more in depth. Offensively, they come into this year averaging 15.3 points per game, 324.3 yards per game, and a third down 32.50% conversion rate. Those are some of the lowest in NCAA football. They're really terrible on offense, and they're facing a BYU defense headed by Bronco Mendenhall, who's a defensive-minded coach. I think they're in for a long night. Their quarterback's still new this year, Bryant Sheriffs. So we're just going to have to see, how he develops. But UConn's probably going to have to try and keep the ball on the ground where they do run the ball more exponentially than they do pass the ball. Defensively, now we get to the guts of UConn and why I like this play. On the year, they're allowing 18 points per game, 292.7 yards per game, third down conversion rate, 42.86%. All of those numbers are solid. This is a good defense on UConn. I know they're going to be excited to play Friday night. BYU, not an easy place to play, but I expect the Huskies to come in and stop BYU enough to help us get under this total. BYU, offensively, they've been pretty good. They lost Hill at the beginning of the year, which was tough, but Magnum's come in there, done a pretty decent job. I think everyone kind of thought a little bit too much about him because of the miracle throw and everything. He's a steady quarterback, but he's not better than Hill, that's for sure. Probably, he has a good chance to be a good quarterback. BYU seems to always have good quarterbacks, at least historically. Offensively, BYU, they come in here averaging 22.8 points per game, 350 yards per game, third down, 34.85% conversion rate. That's not that good. They got shut out last week. They have faced some really tough opponents so far this year. You look at their schedule of games. Boise State, they started off with Nebraska, and then they went to Boise State, UCLA, Michigan. It's just been ridiculous. So I expect them to have a little bit easier time with UConn tonight. But I think they're still going to struggle just a touch. It's a pretty good UConn defense. BYU defensively not bad in their own right. They come in allowing 26.8 points per game, 414 yards per game, and a third down 35.29% conversion rate. I think that tells us a lot about that third down conversion rate and how good a defense this actually is. They're solid. They're well coached. They're going to wrap. They're going to gang tackle. They're going to do what needs to be done to stop UConn, who is really poor on the offensive end. I think UConn's really going to struggle tonight, especially since last week BYU allowed 31 points. They've allowed too many points against everybody so far, but they face three good offensive teams in a row in Boise State, UCLA, and Michigan. They're not going to see that tonight. They might pitch a shutout. I really think they're going to shut them down. So under the total is going to be my play here in NCAA football Friday night action, and I wish you guys luck on your plays of the day.